Hi, my name is Stephen James, and today I'm going to share with you how to change or update your model of the world, also known as your entire experience of life. Pretty heavy subject, but I want you to stick with me because by the end of this video, you're going to look at your life in a very different way. You're going to look at your reality and experience of life very differently, and also those around you. Now, I want to lay some groundwork for this video. I'm going to lay a foundation and share with you an important concept that I don't want you to forget. And that is that the map is not the territory. I'll say that again. The map is not the territory. What does that mean? You might have heard that before. It means that we all have a mind map. We all have a blueprint, a model of the world. And this is made up of our ideas, our knowledge, our beliefs, our values, our references, our experience of life. And this map that we have is our reality for the most part. It's how we see and look at the world. But it's not the territory. It's not how things really are. It's basically our interpretations, our beliefs, and how we represent the world and our experience around us. If you've ever had an experience with someone where you have a difference of opinion, you get into an argument or a fight, or you disagree with someone about something, it's because you have a different map, a different model of the world than they do, okay? Now, there's three things that our brain is constantly doing. Number one is deleting things. Our brains are primarily deletion tools. We're deleting 99% of what we could be taking in around us because our brain can only focus on so much at once before getting overwhelmed. We only have a certain amount of bandwidth, okay? If you've ever had an experience where you're upset, you're angry, you're unhappy in your life, it's because you're focusing on and fixating on one thing and you're deleting all the things that are happening right now in your life or in the past or in the future that you could be happy about, that you could be grateful for. If you're upset and you're unhappy with your life, it's because you're ignoring and deleting the fact you could be grateful for being alive. You could be grateful that your heart is beating 100,000 times a day without you even having to think about it. That your digestive system, your liver, your kidney, all the different functions of your body are operating and keeping you alive and doing its job. That there's certain people in your life, your friends and family, that love you and care about you. That you've got all these great things going on for you, but you're not going to see it because your brain, again, is going to delete that and focus on one or two things at a time. In the same way, if you've ever been happy in your life, fulfilled, and you feel that your life is going great, is that really the territory? No, that's just your map, because to be happy, you're also deleting all the things that you could be unhappy about in your life in any moment, right? There's a good saying that what's right is always available, so is what's wrong, okay? You could focus on in any moment of life. Let's take humanity. Right now in this moment, there are people that are being killed. Right now, there's people that are raping other human beings. Right now, there's acts of terror happening right now in the world. There's people lying and cheating and stealing and doing horrible things. And you could focus on that, but in order to do so, you got to delete all the great things that are also happening in the world right now as well. And if you focus on that, then you might come up with certain generalizations or beliefs that the world is a bad place, that there's a lot of problems in the world, okay? But at the same time, what's wrong is what's available, but also so is what's right. Right now in this moment, you could focus on all the people that are succeeding, that are accomplishing things, that are changing their life, that right now in this moment, there are people that are falling in love. There are people that are making love. There are children being born right now in this second as you're watching this video. There's parts of life that are expanding and growing and becoming more. And so you focus on that, you might have a totally different experience, and you might, it requires you to delete all the horrible things that are happening in the world right now as well. Because again, you got to remember, our brains can only take in so much information and focus on so much at once. But by focusing on the positive and the good, you're going to create different generalizations, beliefs that will serve you in your map and model of the world. It might be that humanity is great, that life always progresses and moves forward despite whatever challenges might be going on. See, we're always deleting things, but we're also always creating generalizations. And all beliefs are generalizations, okay? So we have experiences throughout life. And based on these experiences, we create a meaning. or a generalization, a belief system. Okay, let me give you guys an example. And by the way, I hope I'm going deep on this with you guys, but I really want you to stick with this to understand it, because you're going to get a breakthrough in understanding how your brain works. And in the end of this video, I'm going to show you how you can take charge of your brain and how you can program it and condition it to serve you, to be your slave and serve you in your life, to help you create the life that you want. But first, I've got to help you understand how it works and why your life is the way that it is, why you have this experience of life, and why you're not getting what you want out of life. Because your map and your model is not going to get you to where you want to go unless you change it, expand it, update it. Okay? Very important. Now, we're generalizing things. If you had an experience before, let's say that you have an experience and a man or a woman cheats on you. You're in a relationship. You can create a generalization, a belief that says that all men are cheaters, right? Or all women are cheaters. Now, that is going to be a part of your map, but is that the territory? No, of course not. Okay? Is it true that all men are cheaters? Is it true that all women are cheaters? Of course not. But because of one experience, you've created a generalization or belief that's a part of your blueprint. If you've ever tried to start a business and you failed or it didn't work out, you can generalize and say that it doesn't work. Or if you've ever had an experience where you invested in something and you got scammed, right? They didn't return your money or it didn't work for you, okay? You can create a generalization that says that, there's all these scams that are out there, that every different thing is a scam, right? Or I'm a failure, right? Because you failed once or twice before in the past. Is that true? No, it's not true. Okay, that is your interpretation, the meaning that you created, which you turned into a belief, a generalization that is now part of your blueprint, your model of the world, your map. It's not the territory. It's not how things really are, right? Just like an actual map, an actual map is not actually the territory. There's experiences that we have when you walk, down the street, and the actual map does not account for cars on the road or trees or a lot of things that are actually there, but you're not noticing or seeing, right? Sometimes, if you ever had the experience, you're walking down the street and you notice a store that was always been there, but you didn't notice it until now, right? It's because your map didn't include that store in the first place. And that was just an example of your map expanding. See, you have to be careful and understand that most of these beliefs we have are generalizations, or number three, they're distortions. We distort experiences of life. I mean, if you're ever had an experience where you're walking down the street, let's say that you have the belief in your map, in your blueprint, that people don't like you, okay? And you walk down the street and there's someone that's walking towards you. Let's say it's an attractive woman or an attractive man, and you try to make eye contact with that person, and they just, walk faster as you're walking by them. Now, you might decide to distort that experience and decide that it has a certain meaning, which is that, again, that people don't like you. No one likes you, right? And you're going to use that experience and distort it to reinforce your existing belief system, your existing model. Now, is that true? No, because you distorted it. What you didn't see was maybe that person had headphones on and that there was a bus that they're trying to catch and they're in a hurry, right? And so you didn't see that. You distorted that experience. So I want you to understand that a lot of the experiences that you have, a lot of these beliefs, this map that you have, is not the actual territory. And what really matters, okay, this is the gold nugget that I want to give you guys. What really matters, the most important thing, is, does your model serve you in your life? Is it useful? Is your map getting you to where you want to go? Is it allowing you to experience the life that you really want to experience? Because for me, that's always the most important thing, is I want to make sure that the beliefs that I take on, do they serve me in my life? Do they empower me? Do they help me expand and become more of a human being? Do they allow me to contribute beyond myself and serve the world, humanity in an empowering way? Back when I was in high school, my model of the world, my map, my conditioning was that I was a loser, that I was shy, that I didn't have any friends, that nobody liked me, that I was alone, right? That was my model. That was my blueprint. Was that true? No. No, that was just the stories that I created to myself in my head, how I taught myself and learned. All fears are learned, but it can also be unlearned. All beliefs are learned, and so therefore it can also be unlearned. Okay? You've conditioned yourself to be a certain way, to have this model. And once you understand that it's not the territory and how it is, and that you can update your map and you can change it, you can create new roads on this map to get you to where you want to go a lot faster. And the way you look at the terrain, the territory can actually empower you. You can look at it in a more positive filter. And that by updating your map, then you can filter your entire experience of life in a more empowering and positive way. That will change your life in so many ways more than anything else out there. Okay? So it's very important to make sure that you understand this, that you can create whatever belief systems or values or thoughts that serve and empower you in your life to help you create a better quality of life. What value does it add to my life by believing that I'm a loser, by believing that I'm shy, by believing that I'm not good enough, by believing that I'm not intelligent, by believing that I'm poor and broke, by believing that I don't have the time to do anything? Does that serve me in my life? Does that actually empower me? Does that empower you? Of course not. In fact, those very belief systems are what would keep you stuck in living the way that you're currently living and not allowing you to break through and actually change your life. I might oftentimes tell someone, listen, you might believe that you're not good enough, but if I said, let me give you guys this metaphor. Your brain is like a computer, okay? And you can upload to that computer whatever software that you want. You can install whatever apps that you want. Okay? You have that choice. But most of you, a way of looking at this is you've got this amazing piece of hardware called your brain, which is capable of so much. You can change your life, you can achieve anything with it, but your software, the apps that are installed on it are outdated. They're old. You've never examined them before in your entire life. You don't even have any awareness of this. And not only that, you got viruses and malware, and you got shit on that system that you've never wiped out, you've never cleaned it before, you've never updated or changed it. Okay? So your brain is like a computer, and you can program your brain and install software and apps and update it so that it can actually empower you and serve you. So let's say that you've got this computer and installed on it is the software, the belief system that you're not good enough, that you're a loser, that you're not intelligent, that you're ugly, and all these horrible things, that you're going to fail and that you're going to get rejected and no one's going to like you, and you have all that, whatever your limitations are, those are all installed on that computer. Those beliefs, that computer is not going to be able to, it's not even going to try anything. It's going to filter experiences of life and say, oh, that's a scam, or that's not going to work, or I can't do that because of this, because I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm too old, I'm too young, whatever it might be. So it's not even going to take any action. It's not going to do anything. And also, that programming is never going to get you to a prosperous life. It's not going to get you to be happy. It's never going to get you to be fulfilled or financially abundant until you change the software. So let's say all of a sudden what we did is we wiped out on your computer those negative, disempowering beliefs. And I installed on your computer the belief system, the software, that you're good enough, that you are abundant, that you're wealthy, that you're attractive, that you're intelligent, that you're confident, okay, that you can set and achieve anything that you set your mind to, that you're a giver, you're happy, you're fulfilled, you're grateful, you're an amazing human being. Now, if I installed those onto your system, you might say, well, Stefan, none of those are true. This is my reality. This is my experience of life. It's your experience of life because your model of the world and your blueprint is continuing to allow those faulty viruses and malware to continue to live on your system. Okay? But if I install that you are rich, that you are abundant, that you are successful, that you are confident, all those sort of things, your behavior is going to match that. Your behavior is going to change. The actions that you take are going to change and will actually lead you to manifesting and creating all those things that I talked about, which will therefore reinforce those beliefs that you have. It will reinforce your model of the world, right? So a lot of you, you're have this programming, this belief systems that you're a failure, you're not good enough, you're stupid, you're ugly, all these sort of things, and you're trying to change your behavior. You're trying to change your actions instead of changing the software and the beliefs that will therefore determine the actions that you take automatically. So you always got to make sure you update and change your model of the world first, because the behaviors will follow that. Okay, so you got to make sure that you're aware of this and you are consciously programming. Never, never, never stop thinking of yourself as broke, as a failure, as not good enough. Don't even entertain those thoughts. Don't even feed into it. Don't even give energy to it. Okay? Don't even acknowledge those. Those aren't serving or empowering you. Those are stories that you've created, or you've had references that you've generalized, or you distorted information or misinterpreted things to believe those things, but they're not true. Whatever you decide to believe is going to be true and real for you and empower your life. And so if that's the case, you might as well upload and install software, belief systems that will serve and empower you. That's why I love affirmations. That's why I love saying to myself again and again and again, positive phrases and quotes to ingrain, internalize, and upload them into my psychology. You know, all the greatest people throughout history all did affirmations in some shape or form. Muhammad Ali called himself the greatest before he won anything. You know, Walt Disney saw in his mind first and had the belief of what was possible through his imagination. And he believed that your imagination is just a preview of your life's coming attractions. But they changed their blueprint, their model of the world first. You have to update or change it, because if you're failing in your life, if you're not where you want to be, then I can tell you what the problem is. Your model of the world is not getting you to where you want to go. And you're going to continue to try. You're going to continue to try to lose weight. You're going to continue to try to build a business. You're going to continue to try to go out there and meet someone. But you're not going to create the change that you want until you first create the change up here. The internal world must first change before it changes in the outer world. So you have to update, expand your model of the world. And you got to understand that everybody has a different model of the world. One of the best ways to expand it is more experience. The more things you experience, the more things you try and do, you get different perspectives. You know, I'm a Christian. I'm a very spiritual man. And I have a lot of incredible spiritual beliefs that serve me in my life. And I've always wanted to make sure that I understand all the different religions, all the different spiritual beliefs out there. You know, there's a great quote, a great principle from Stephen Covey, which says that seek first to understand and then to be understood. It's a powerful thought. That's a powerful belief. You know, imagine in humanity if human beings, we decided instead of judging, which by the way, when you're judging someone else, you're just projecting your model of the world onto them. And you believe, your ego believes that you're right, that my model's right, and therefore this person's wrong, so I'm going to judge them, right? You see this all the time on YouTube or in comments and whatnot. People are judging and saying this or that. They're making these generalizations. Oh, that's a scam, that doesn't work, or he's like this or that. You know, they're basically just projecting their mind files, their model out there, but it's not the territory, but they act and pretend that it is. Right? And so first, what if we did this instead? We first seek to understand and then to be understood. We decide, you know what? I want to understand everyone else's perspective. And then I'm going to form my judgment, my beliefs based on the information that I've gathered. You see, I don't want you to ever be a follower. I want you to be a student. I want you to be open and listen to what I have to say and other people around you as well, and then you make your own decisions about what to believe, and you decide, does this something that I want to allow into my model of the world, into my map? Do I want to update my map and upload and install this software to my computer. Okay? That's how you want to take in information rather than just blindly following what anybody else says. You got to use your intelligence, your emotional intelligence, as Daniel Goleman says, to decide, is this going to serve or empower me in my life? So I'm a spiritual person, but I want to understand all the different beliefs out there. So I've studied Islam, I've studied Buddhism, I've studied Taoism, I've studied Hinduism, I've studied different forms of Catholic belief systems. I've studied atheists because I want to understand their belief system as well. I'm not going to judge them and say, oh, my way is the right way and therefore you're wrong and everyone else is wrong but me. That's unfortunately what happens in the world, and that creates war, creates tension, creates arguments and fights and people killing each other. And unfortunately, a lot of it occurs because of religious beliefs, but other types of belief systems as well. But it's a difference of a model of the world, a different blueprint. So if we first decided, you know what, I'm not going to allow my ego to believe that I'm perfect or this is, my way is the right way. I want to understand everyone. And I want to understand this person's model of the world. And I want to understand, okay, they have this belief system or that belief system. And I can decide, you know what, their model doesn't serve or empower me, and that's fine. I don't expect everybody to buy into my model of the world. I'm sharing with you guys my beliefs and my values and the things that have helped me get to where I'm at today, and things that I've also learned and studied. When I model people and I find people out there, which has been my life's work for the last 15 years, I want to find people that are geniuses, people that are successful, that are happy, that have mastered every aspect of their life, their health, their mind, their emotions, their finances, their business, their spiritual life, their relationships. And I want to understand what can I take or extract from their model of the world, their map, and I can decide I want to upload that to mine, right? That's for me what the learning process is about, the path of mastery, is I want to model the beliefs, the maps, the models of all these people out there that have what I want, that have a great experience of life, and I want to extract and take that for myself. And if it serves me and benefits me, I want to share that with you and other people that could potentially benefit from it as well, right? But most people don't even have this awareness. Most people in their life have no freaking idea what we're talking about here, right? They don't even know. They just believe that what they believe. And they've never examined them their entire life. Their beliefs and their model oftentimes is from the assumptions of a kid growing up, experiencing life as a kid from your teachers and your parents and observing them and what they told you. And you just buy that into being who you are. And you've conditioned yourself to be that way. You can stop it or change it any time that you want. You just got to understand to expand your map. You got to ask yourself, if you have a problem or challenge in your life, ask yourself, is this just my map or is this actually the territory and how it really is? I think that will give you a different perspective. When someone says, Stefan, I don't have the time, that's not true. That's just your model of the world. You obviously do have time. We all have time. If you're alive, you have time. You have 24 hours in a day. You have 7 days a week. We all have the same amount of time. It's the only thing that's equal. So when you project that belief and you make that generalization, it's not true. It's not the territory. You're just deciding, what we all decide different things of what we're going to do with our time. You can decide you do different things. You can prioritize different things in your life and how you want to use your time. But it's not true that you don't have time. You do. All these things are generalizations. All quotes, these motivational quotes you hear are also generalizations, because I can poke fault in every single one of them. If you use the motivational quote, I've used it as well. It's a belief. Who you spend time with is who you become. Well, I can find examples where that's not 100% true. The past does not equal the future. Well, I can find examples where that's not true. Everything happens for a reason and it serves me. I can find examples where that's not true. How you do anything is how you do everything. I can find examples where that's not true. So the question is not whether or not they're true. Is it useful? Does it empower you? Does it serve you? That's the most important thing when you decide you're going to take on something. Is it going to serve you in your life? Now, I'll share with you guys a story before I wrap this up. I was coaching this client years ago, great guy, good looking guy, but he had the belief system in his model of the world that women weren't attracted to him. And so therefore he didn't have many experiences with women, and he was in his 30s and he was still single and alone. And he came to me for help. And so because he had this belief, I recognized it. He wasn't even aware of it at first, but he had this belief, and what would happen was he would go out and we'd go together and he'd be talking to girls. And he talked to this one girl, and for me observing, I'm looking at the body language and I'm paying attention to things, and it looks like it's going great. They're having a conversation for 10 minutes. She's laughing and smiling. She's leaning in. Her body language is very open. And afterwards, after that conversation, I went up to him and said, great job. It looked like it was going really well. And he saw things in a different way. He said, Stefan, no, she's not, women aren't attracted to me. So, she wasn't attracted. And I said, what are you talking about? She was smiling and laughing. It looked like it was going great. So anyways, we go on to the next conversation. Same thing. The same thing happens. A woman smiling and laughing. And sure enough, he had a similar interpretation where he said, Stefan, no, she was just being nice. She probably had a boyfriend, right? He would not allow himself to see how things really were because his belief system was creating a blind spot and not allowing him to see. And therefore, he believed that his map was the territory when it wasn't. So sure enough, the night goes on, and he talks to this one girl. It's going great. They're having a great conversation for 30 minutes, and he ends up getting her phone number. And then afterwards, he says, Stefan, no, she's just being nice to me. It's probably a fake phone number. Now, this person was not able to see. His belief systems were not allowing him to see what was right there in front of him. It was not allowing him to see how things were really happening because he had an experience where a woman did not like him, rejected him once or twice in the past. And he created a meaning from that and distorted that experience to believe that women don't like him, a generalization or a belief. And therefore, he's spending his whole life with that belief system, interacting with the opposite sex, seeing the opposite sex and projecting the fact that they don't like him, that women aren't attracted to him. It's not until he changes that belief, which he did, that would change his entire experience. And not until he shifted that to then therefore believe women are attracted to me and I am an attractive person. When he made that shift, now he could all of a sudden see what was already there, but his mind never allowed him to. He all of a sudden was able to attract women into his life and see and appreciate it, and he became more attractive just with that belief system alone. Because our beliefs, our way of being, our energy, our state is infectious to everyone else around us. It's contagious. And if you change the way that you look at things, the things that you look at change. I'll say that again. If you change the way that you look at things, the things that you look at change. Your entire experience does. So, my friends, I want you to expand your blueprints, your map, gain more perspectives. I want you to understand other people's models instead of allowing yourself just to project yours onto everyone else by judging them. I want you to decide what are the beliefs that can serve or empower me in my life that I can upload, and what are the ones that are hurting me? What are the parts of my map that are not serving me anymore? Because every map must be updated. Because there's always new roads being built. There's always new structures, new blocks, new neighborhoods. And we always have to update our map. And I think one of the most important things you can do is learning, growing, having an open mind, and taking on different things, and always challenging the ones that don't serve you. Challenge them, destroy them, learn the tools to change your belief systems. If you need help with that, I've got trainings inside that for my Life Mastery Accelerator program, which I'll link to for you guys. Go through that program. I'm amazed by how many people are not in that program. I'm like, how are you getting through life without learning how to shift your belief systems? How are you going to continue? Are you going to continue to suffer and live this way? Because what really matters to me the most, do your beliefs serve you or do they cause suffering? And most people on this planet, their beliefs are causing suffering in their life. until they learn the tools, how to shift their beliefs, how to shift their model of the world so that they can set it up so that they can win. Because the level of thinking that's gotten you to where you are right now in your life is not going to get you to where you want to go. You've got to change your thinking. You've got to change your thoughts and your blueprints in order to get to where you want to go. If you don't, it will always be a struggle. It will always be 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, and you'll continue to suffer. And I interact with people all the time. They're sending me messages and stuff and telling me why their life is not the way it is or why it should be, the problems and challenges in their life. It's all created by their map. So Life Mastery Accelerator will help you with that. Creating rituals in your life to condition yourself, to upload the thoughts, the beliefs, the feelings, the states, the values that you want to upload into your computer so that you can make your brain your slave. And you can program it and utilize it to help you create the life that you want. Okay? That is always the most important thing. If you learn how to control it, you learn how it works, and you put the best information possible in it and you upload it and you're shifting, getting rid of the viruses and the malware, that's how you create an amazing quality of life. So hopefully this video can serve you. And now you look at things in a very different way. You look at your entire experience of life. And I told you this would be deep, but the deep work is what's necessary to create the life that you want. So listen, if you enjoyed this, hit the thumbs up button. Leave a comment below, subscribe for more videos. I'll share with you guys my Life Mastery Accelerator, which I hope for all of you to join and be a part of so that I can help you at the deepest level to mastering every aspect of your life. But I want to sincerely thank you for joining me today, and hopefully you have a deeper understanding and appreciation for everyone in humanity, and you make the changes necessary to create the life that you want. Take care.